Chapter 10. It was the first day of school, and it felt so long. I'm not a real school person. If it was my first choice, I would have went straight to college, right after kindergarten. But Josh, on the other hand, all he needed was a pencil and some new Jordans. And with Derek beside him, he was ready to conquer the world. He had his nature class, a math class, a science class, and a gym class for football. And again, he had to stay after for football practice, but Derek took him home. I saw him more often than I did last year, and that didn't bother me much. Our locker was down the hall from each other, so he just used mine because when he got on the hall, my locker was already open. He didn't really like my locker because it had pictures of flowers and candy. He did eat my candy, although it wasn't for him. He made sure he ate it all the time. But by the time half of the day was over, it felt like the middle of the school year. Nobody really tried to look cute except for the hoes. They always try to look cute. The little mini skirts, short shorts, the tube tops, under flannel, like shirts, so they can actually get away with it. They wore it because we don't have a real dress code for the first week unless you can see like a nipple or a butt crack. We had lunch together, and most siblings mind sitting together, but we didn't. We sat directly in the middle. We even had one time where everyone seemed to come over at our table. He was only looking for Derek, but he didn't have our lunch. We only saw each other in gym. And after school, gym's second period, so Josh went down with the air freshener. I saw him. I hated when my brother stank. But it happens. 2 weeks later, Josh's perception of life changed. There was a couple boys from a local school that were transferred to ours and were good football players, so they automatically were put on the team. So even though Josh was a sophomore, he was good enough to be on the varsity, and Derek was already on there. There were new boys, and truthfully, they started ruling the school because they were just mean. I remember their names very well: Irvin, Travis, and Nigel. They were all half brothers, same mom, different dad. We had gang members in our school, but not real big populations. Josh told me that he was kind of shy when he met them. Josh and Nigel didn't get along. Josh just knew it was better getting along instead of getting in a fight. After Nigel realized that Josh associated with Irvin and Travis, they dealt with each other a lot easier. It was 2 months into school, and now Irvin asked Josh if he wanted to be in the gang. Josh said no, but they still asked him consistently. It was weird. It seemed like he was holding his ground. It just seemed weird. like they were determined to get him into the gang. They would have tackled him like he was on the opposite team during the game sometimes, during practice. Secretly, Mom and I started planning a huge 16th birthday party for Josh. It was 3 months out though. We rented a large facility usually used as a club for teens. Josh, I could tell, if no one else, stated he started to hate school. Granted, he still kept his grades above most eager, but it started to fade. Even when I mentioned his birthday, not even a smile crossed his face, and I wanted to hold my baby brother from whatever was hurting him and his feelings. I wanted to take it. When I asked him, he just said nothing. Nothing was bothering him. He started to walk and work harder, staying in his room, barely eating and sleeping, just working on something. One day, I just went up to him and asked him, "Is something bothering you?" He smiled and said, "No." "Why?" I said, "Well, you're working a little too much for me." All he said was he was trying to get his GPA up. It was a week to his birthday, and he still hasn't even asked about it yet. While he was walking into the kitchen, I walked out of my room and asked him, did he want to go to the mall? He surprised me and said, "Sure." I rarely would remember a minor detail as in going to the mall, but that was the bonding day for us. We talked about something specific, and he said something bad is going to happen. He just didn't know what yet.